Okay, now we have the tank completely wrapped. Both top and side pieces are totally on. All the bubbles are pressed out. For the most part, it's finished. The only thing that we have left to do is cut open the opening for the gas cap, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, now the way you cut out the hole for the gas cap is kind of special. I want to show you a couple things. You don't want to just do a bunch of relief cuts in there or cut all the way up to the edge. You have to do it a really specific way. This is a scrap piece of vinyl, and I'm just going to cut an angle in the vinyl, and I'm not really going to purposely cut it, in a way that'll rip. It looks like it would be okay, but whenever you have a sharp angle like that, I've showed you in a couple other steps, it's easy for the vinyl to rip. And if you're applying the vinyl, or you're shipping it, or you're waiting a while or anything like that before that gas cap gets on there, you got an area that's more likely to rip and stretch out. For instance, right here you can see that if I just pull on it just a little bit, and if we look really closely, you can see that where that cut is, it's kind of pulling apart and it's distorting a little bit. So that's why you don't want to just go in there and do, X cuts and things like that from the middle. Let me take another piece of vinyl and we'll take a look at it. For this one, I'm going to use the scissors. It'll kind of help me since I'm holding this. Cut it out. And this time, instead of doing like a wedge, as it gets to the point, I'm going to curve it and come back out. So you can see that I have a curve cut in there. This is one of the concepts that we're going to use for cutting the gas tank, because if you cut into a place where there's going to be a hole basically, and you don't cut it with a curve like that, you cut it as a sharp angle, it's going to more easily tear. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm just giving myself time to peel this backing off. Let's take a look at this. Now I have the backing peeled off of this, and there's my piece. And now if you pull it, you see that it doesn't have a tendency to rip. That's just the way vinyl's made. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way, and the scissors out of the way. Now we're going to use the X-Acto knife to cut this. Let me see if I can lean this toward you just a little bit more. There we go. Now what I like to do is I like to come in. Now the gas cap is going to be, or the whole gas cap housing and everything is going to be flush with the motorcycle. So you don't want to come right to the edge, because that'll pull away. We're actually going to wrap down inside the recess area where the cap goes. So in order to give us a little bit of room to wrap on down in there, I'm going to cut away from the edge, and you can visually just look at the edge here. I'm going to cut away from the edge around 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to continue around in a circle pattern. Now this doesn't have to be exact. You do kind of want to be careful how you do it, but it doesn't have to be exact. Don't really force it. If your knife is kind of jagged around, or if it's slightly dull, you might want to put another blade on it or something like that, but don't force it. And almost done now. There we go. That's a nice clean cut. And so we have this piece cut out. It's a little bit jaggedy there in some places, but we want to try to cut it out as best as possible. Now this is an area where, if you just tried to press it in with your thumbs or something like that, it wouldn't be as workable. So you definitely want to use the torch to press it in there. And I'm going to use the felt from the squeegee to press it in, because of course the squeegee's not conformed to the rounded shape that I'm pressing it into. So just start off kind of on one side. You don't really have to try to heat up all of it at once. There we go. Let's take a look at it. Nice and neat, tucked in, clean all the way around, and it has a really high resistance from pulling away from the edge. We're also going to put some edge sealer on this in just a second.